You don't choose a life, you live a life. This is kind of a profound quote that I came across today from the movie The Way. It's where a father is transporting the ashes of his son on this wonderful pilgrimage. And what kind of struck me is I've been reading a lot of Napoleon Hill, and there's kind of this wonderful parallel between this quote and the movie. For me, it kind of means if you plan every facet of your life, and you quote unquote make this perfect idea plan, you're always comparing the plan to reality. And when you have that high of expectations, reality is almost always going to fall short a little bit. And through comparison, we become very unhappy because all we can see is the flaws and the differences and how it's falling short. It's kind of the law of comparison. If we are always comparing, we're never really in it, and therefore we're always kind of losing out to that happiness that we could have gained. So when we're in that state of comparison, we're just kind of not really living what we're trying to do, right? We're living the idea, but then criticizing everything that's happening. So it's kind of a bad place to be. So it's mixed match of expectation versus reality, and it leaves just no wiggle room for all the cool random stuff that's happening in our lives. For example, when I was in Bali, Indonesia, one of my friends and we took mopeds and we just started driving. We had no idea where we were going. We just said, let's explore the city. It's 10 o'clock at night. Let's just see what's out there. And lo and behold, we came across these starving artist colony, if you will, of just these wonderful people who are creating amazing art that we would have never found otherwise. And they invited us in, we had drinks, they were showing us the art, playing music. I mean, it was simply amazing. But we would have never done that if we had this rigid structure around it. Because that randomness factor is not something you can really plan. So on the converse side, if we take our perfect day, if we design a perfect day, and we design, let's say, a perfect life, and then we just kind of throw it to the wind. We release the energy. Because if you hoard anything, just like water that stands still for too long turns bad. It gets stale and musty and icky. Water needs to flow to be clean, just like energy. If we hold our energy and our money and it does nothing, it becomes stagnant after a while. That's where you kind of start feeling dead, because humans need progress. We need to feel like we're accomplishing more than we did the day before. And the other route is service, but I argue that you need both. So when you create your perfect day and you create your perfect life and then release that energy back into the universe, if you will, or if you're religious, into God's hands, or whatever your belief structure is, then you kind of forget about it. You kind of just start living in the moment. And that's when you start really appreciating things. When you see that flower, to use the cliche analogy, and you take the time to smell it, the look of it, the smell of it, this texture of it, life is so precious in every moment. If you can find those little things, like today, the babies were in the corral we have, and we haven't put the little stickies on it yet, so they're able to push it around the hardwood floor, but it's usually on carpet. But today they figured out they could lift it, and then they can move it around. It was hysterical. But, if I was focused on, let's say, a clean living room, right, then I would have been, frustrated and angry that they're throwing toys and moving the thing around and it's not perfect. But on the flip side, if you see it as kids who are figuring things out and, oh my gosh, I can lift this thing, and if I lift it, I can move it. It's like then it turns into something beautiful rather than something to be compared against the perfect. So, the message is simply create your plan, but then kind of release it. Don't hold on to it like it's immutable. And then just simply enjoy all the little facets that life throws at us. Because sometimes, honestly, the curveballs are more interesting and enjoyable than the things that we thought were precious to us in terms of our plan. So that doesn't mean don't plan, right? Just don't hold on to it as if it was stone. I hope this message resonates with you. If you enjoy it, drop something in the comments and your thoughts. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.